And there's 4 money types. And they really kind of replicate those ones. So you're going to see yourself really easily. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share these money types with you and know that you might have overlapping parts of you. You might be a little of this and a little of that. But you really do have a predominant money type. And it comes from the nature and nurture of who you are. So that's just basically how our personalities show up, right? There's a nature of us that shows up in the world, and then there's some of that nurturing that goes on. That's that programming that you got. So I want you to just consider this for a second. This scenario, that you're browsing the aisles of your favorite store and something fabulous catches your eye. It could be the latest fashion or the coolest computer tablet, and it's something that you've been wishing or thinking about getting. All right, so put yourself in that scenario. Maybe it was in this Black Friday thing or Cyber Monday, but you're walking down the store and there it is, right? What do you do? Get it here. Because you all have some answer, right? And this is the typical thing that you do, not the special, weird, out of the thing, like, I can't help myself kind of thing. So some of you have these qualms about, I don't want to buy, I'm going to wait, right? Some of you are just impulsively going to buy it, right? Some of you are going to think about it and assess it and do that stuff, right? So you all have what you're going to do? What that is your typical money type or the way that you show up. So I want to share with you what those look like. Because once we see that, then you're going to see some of those obstacles and why they're showing up for you, because that's how money is for you. So let's look at the first one. And please don't take these terminologies as negative, okay? Because some of those words up there are like, what? Hoarder? I'm not on that show. Okay, and I'm going to explain it to you, right? All right, how many of you see that show, right? You seen that lady eating the couch? She's scary. All right. So the first one we're going to talk about is the avoider. Now, I'm not going to ask you to define who you are just yet, because I want you to hear all 4 of them. But you'll start to hear yourself and resonate going, that's what I do, right? The avoider is that person that just goes like this, right? I'm the avoider, money type, by the way. So I can speak to it very clearly. It's like, let's see, bills come in and they aren't even opened and they go on the table, right? There's a whole bunch of them over here. I don't have any idea. I'm talking metaphorically, not right now, because as an avoider, you learn to have tools to deal with this. But as an active avoider out of balance, don't know what's in the bank account. As a matter of fact, you get a little queasiness in your stomach when you have to look at it. If I just don't pay attention to it, maybe it'll go away. Right? A typical avoider does not do anything or have any conversations around money. They don't plan for retirement. It's like, hear no evil, see no evil, and then it doesn't exist. Right? And if you aren't the avoider, I bet you know some people like that. Because the less you know about your finances, the better it is. And the fact is that what happens with an avoider is that they're not paying attention to their money, right? This is like, phew. And if I just don't look, it'll be okay. And what happens when you don't look? It's not okay. It's not okay. It could be good, not okay, or it could be bad, not okay. And a lot of times it's bad, not okay. The next money type is the hoarder. I really like to have this hoarder term be more saver, right? Because it really doesn't feel good if somebody says, hey, you're a hoarder, right? It's not a real comfortable feeling. But the fact of the matter is that savers, if you're hoarding things and you're on that show, you're saving a lot of stuff, right? And so a hoarder or a saver is that person that looks like from the outside, all of us are looking at them going, they really have their money stuffed together, right? Because they got lots of it and it's in a savings account, and that they fear, unfortunately, I don't care how much money they have. I have a very good friend that has millions of dollars in the bank. She's accumulated over a long period of time. I think she's about 65 or 70 years old right now. But she is scared to death. She's got $1 million in the bank. She is scared to death every second that somehow or another that money is going to disappear. Petrified. So they're not letting loose. And sometimes it can be perceived that they are penny pinchers, right? A hoarder or a saver. My brother is the walking definition of that. He is not going to buy anything that costs more than $20 until he does 6 months of research on it. Okay, I don't know if you know that person. It's a little annoying when you're not, it's not my life, it's my sister-in-law's, but she wanted a refrigerator one time when I lived in Texas. 6 months later, the refrigerator is completely broken, but he's got to go look at one more refrigerator. So a saver is that person that just doesn't let go of the money, and they're scared to death all of the time. They might be bringing their own popcorn to the movies. It looks like they're frugal, but it's just that fear that's happening there. And unlike the avoider, who doesn't even want to look at their bank account, the hoarder, the saver, is like, let's bounce a checkbook for the 3rd time this month, just because it's fun. I'm not really understanding that, but the fact is that when you're an avoider, you're like, please, I don't even want to look at those numbers. So if you're a saver, it's important to know that it can be detrimental if you're out of balance with that money type. And then our spender is spending to feel good, right? These are the people that you typically say, oh, they're a shopaholic. And they're doing it for status and esteem. And it doesn't matter if they have a Gucci purse, they got to buy another one. Or they got 14 gazillion pairs of shoes, we have to buy another one. Because what it is it's about spending money to feel value and self-esteem for yourself. And if your self-worth is tied up in this money, then it's really detrimental to how you show up in the world. And the last money type is the money monk. Right? That person, when I say money is the root of all evil, and I'll say sometimes in a brief conversation with someone, I uncover unconscious money beliefs, something like money is the root of all evil, and I'll have the people that go, I don't have that belief. And they're not the monks. But there is a person out there that does believe that they were raised with very religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs that money is the root of all evil, or that money isn't the path to God, right? And the fact is that they really love to have money to give it away. So if you're constantly bringing it in to give it away, then you're not in balance either. So a money monk might get a windfall, like they might win the lottery, and then bye-bye. And it's great that they're giving to charity, but there's no valuation for them because the money represents something that's not good. And so it's a monk-like cloak that they're taking on. So, y'all recognize yourself in one of those? Okay, I need nodding. Some of you are uncomfortable, right? Who's uncomfortable with the idea that you have a money type? Who feels liberated that at least now I know where I am? And there might be a tool that I could use, right? Because remember, money loves certain things. So if you are a specific type, the reason that you have a money type is not because it's bad or wrong. It just is. Just like you have a personality type. Remember those 4 different personality types that you might get on a disc? You have the idea person and the outgoing person, and then you have the analytical person, and then you have the, I call it the Springer Spaniel, the person that just wants to make everybody happy, right? And then you have the driver, which is the CEO type that's like, So when you have this money type, it's just a great bit of information to have knowledge about, oh, so that's what my type is. How do I balance it so it's not completely going the way that's not supporting me? So would that be useful for you if I gave you some ways that with your money type you can get in balance and begin to move through the psychology of your money? Would that be good for you? Yeah. Okay.